Welcome back, guys. In today's video, we're going to talk about why I needed a heart transplant. Enjoy. Hypoplastic left heart syndrome is when half of the heart, the left side, doesn't grow properly inside the mother before birth. I was diagnosed with this a few weeks after birth. What this did was lower my appetite, weaken my muscles, and lower my oxygen levels. As a result, when growing up, the little things were harder to do. Walking upstairs, just walking in general through the store. I was very winded and I would have to take breaks frequently just to get through. Growing up in school only became a problem when kids found out about it. They would tease me because they just didn't understand it, and I wasn't able to be physical and play tag and run around with them outside at recess. Fortunately enough, I was able to find that one friend that stuck by my side, and until this day we are friends. In the start of 2014, we knew my health was starting to take a turn. I got to, fortunately enough, do a Make-A-Wish, and my Make-A-Wish was to go to Disney. You can see there. And with my family, and to just have a good time. I had a great time. It was hard. I was pushed to a wheelchair the majority of the time because I couldn't do anything active. But I definitely had a blast, and Make-A-Wish made sure that it was a memory that I would never forget, and I'm very thankful for that. In September, when I had just turned 14, things started to take a worse, and then I would be admitted into Boston Children's Hospital. From there, I would not leave until I would get my new heart. In the hospital, they put me on a waiting list. I would be admitted in there and have to wait because they would put me on a PICC line that would go through your neck, and it would go to the heart and be able to drop the medicine directly to it to keep my heart going, because without it my heart was done and it would just give up. The staff on the floor did everything to make me comfortable and happy, and they encouraged a great mindset. On that floor they had a playroom for the friends and families and us kids to be able to interact with each other and have fun and have activities to just keep our minds off things. The host there did so much for everyone, I believe, to make sure that we were all happy and had the things that we needed to get by and remain positive. One of the hardest parts of being there was just seeing the other kids that were sick. I was 14 at the time, and all of them was younger than me as far as I knew. I met 3 heart transplant friends that got their heart transplants after me, but they were admitted into the hospital with me. They are all still here doing great. Shout out to them. Much love to them. Keeping a positive mindset was easy at first, but as time went by, things got harder for me to remain positive. I was starting to get tired of just being hooked up to these heart monitor machines, IV machines, getting blood work every day, every morning at 5 a.m., getting woken up to that, or 2 in the morning from beeping or blood pressure cuff going off. It really was starting to get to me. Time felt at the standstill there as I was missing my family. I would have my mom and dad come visit. Even my brother and sister paid a couple visits. But it still wasn't the same just to be home with them all the time. And I was missing them, and that was starting to get into my psyche as well. October has come, and at this point, the positive energy is just out of me. I've had enough, and I'm just tired, and I'm getting very depressed, and I just felt like I could feel the life draining out of me at this point, and it was becoming too real and too scary. On October 20th, 2004, I would go to bed that night watching Game 7 of the New York Yankees and the Red Sox. The Red Sox would win and be able to go on to the World Series. I would fall asleep at the end of that game, after that game. 4 a.m. that morning, I had woke up to ask for water, and the nurse didn't deny me, and she said she would give me it, but she never came back, and I luckily fell asleep. Little did I know what that really meant, why she didn't give it to me. So I'd fall asleep, and then at 7 a.m., it was like 7 in the morning or so, I'd wake up to my mom and see my mom there, and it caught me off guard because she wasn't supposed to be there that day. So I knew right away. I just looked at her and I said, my heart's here, isn't it? My dad was on his way, and I didn't know how to feel. My head was just full of emotions. At one point, I didn't even think I wanted the heart transplant anymore because I was just so scared. So at 5 p.m. on the 21st, I kissed my loved ones goodbye for what could be the final time as they rolled me into the operating room. when I got into the operating room, I don't remember much after they'd given me so much of the drugs there. I just remember they had music going, so I was trying to dance on the floor. And I remember watching my heart monitor and thinking it was a baseball game, and then it was lights out. I remember dreaming that there was a fire and they couldn't use the elevator, so they had to they pushed me down on my stretcher through the stairs, and I just remember boom, 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 and it felt like a really long dream, and that's all I dreamt until it got black. They would tell my family to go home. My mother would go home. They said I was probably going to sleep for a day or two and get my rest. So she went home. She lived in Maine, so it was a bit of a travel. I got out at 5 a.m. on the 22nd of surgery. And it was like that morning before afternoon, or maybe afternoon, I was waking up from the surgery. So like on the 23rd, I was up out of bed walking, and like another day later, I was out of the ICU. The next week, I was in a little halfway house that they would keep me in so that I could still be near the doctors and see them, and I stayed there for like a month. Very thankful for them as well. That is the story of how I got my heart transplant. Much love to everybody that was there for my journey, from the nurses, just to the doctors, to everyone, to family, friends, my heart transplant buddies. You've all meant the world, and you all helped me through this and to get me to this point. Please subscribe and hit the thumbs up button if you like this video. I also have an Instagram and Twitter you can follow Extra Life 359. Peace and love to everyone, and keep on pounding.